The Key High boys basketball team sits at 11-0 on the season. They opened up the 2024 portion of the schedule with a win at Waukon on Tuesday night. Head coach Jeff Cota joining us. And coach, what's been the reason for your team's success to this point?
Well, we're just finding a way to win. We got returned a lot of experience this year. Um, if one guy has an off night, seems that somebody else picks us up. We've had quite a few close games, and last year we were on the wrong side of them. And this year we're finding a way to win them.
And looking at your schedule, a 7 point win the other night against Waukon, 7 point win against New Hampton, 3 point win against Alburnett, 4 point win against North Fayette Valley, 2 point win against MFL Marmac, and an 8 point win against DeSoto. You obviously have been in a lot of close games, but your kids have handled those situations. What do you give that credit to?
I guess what I would say is from all the experience we returned from last year, we were in some lopsided losses early in the year, starting a lot of sophomores, couple juniors, all first time starters as we had a lot of seniors to replace from the year before. And late January they seemed to figure it out last year and we're playing really hard competitive games. And like I said, we were coming up short in a lot of them. But when the season ended last year, it kind of felt like we were where we wanted to be. Like we were ready to start winning games. And I think being on the right side of a couple early this year just gave them that confidence that now instead of hoping or thinking they can win, they know they can go into the game.
And looking at the stat sheet right now, a couple of big time scorers for you through this portion of the season. Jordan Cota at 19.7 points game, Dalton Mutterman at 17.5 points game. Pretty good 1-2 combination on the score sheet for you. How have both of them stepped up their games this year?
Well, they just a year older, more experienced, bigger, stronger. That sophomore to junior year, it can make a big jump. Dalton does an excellent job getting the ball up the floor, handling pressure, without much of a press break. If teams go man, he can kind of handle that by himself. And both of them had good success individually last year, and that just led to more confidence this year and kind of picked up where they left off.
And noticed one thing, you're taking reasonably good care of the basketball, only turning the ball over 14 times a game. And you got more assists than turnovers, and you always like that as a coach. How has that aspect of your game been through the first 11 games?
Well, a lot of that credit goes to Dalton. Like I just said, he does an excellent job taking care of the ball, limits turnovers, sees the floor well. Uh, he just does a really good job. Caleb Droppy is also, he can handle the ball when he needs to, and has done a pretty good job with it too.
And team wise, you're shooting 47% as a team this year. That's a pretty decent percentage. Puts you towards definitely the top half of Class 1A schools. How are you able to put the ball in the hole on a regular basis based on that statistic alone?
Well, we really stress trying to get good shots, either open threes or close to the basket. I tell them unless it's late in the shot clock to kind of avoid taking those 18, 19 footers. If you're going to take that shot, take another pass to somebody that's behind the line and can get an extra point for it, or try to work it inside for, a high percentage shot.
And 3 point wise, you've got a couple of those three good 3 point shooters in Jordan and Dalton. You're averaging about 5 3 pointers a game. How big is the 3 point shot as part of your overall offensive arsenal?
Well, I think it's kind of based on, we've got good size this year, and we try to get the ball inside, and so many people collapse on that we kick it back out and get a pretty good look from the outside. Um, Recent games we haven't shot it as well, and that's kind of what led to having to battle so hard to win the games. Is on them nights we're not shooting quite as well. But yeah, for the season so far, I'm happy with the percentage. getting pretty good shots and making a good percentage of them.
And this week, you close out the first half of Upper Iowa Conference play. You got Turkey Valley coming to town on Tuesday night. Looking at the league race right now, you guys are on top, but basically 6 teams. It looks like actually 5 teams within 3 games of you. I'd imagine you're taking the approach of one game at a time, but when it comes to an overall conference race, this thing's far from decided, correct?
Yeah, no doubt. All those teams at the top are, the top half and then some are very competitive. You read off some scores, close games. Play here or there. We could have been on the wrong side of those games. We do like the fact that Southwind, MFL, Marmac, and North Fayette Valley. We did win all 3 of those games on the road, so they got to come to our place this time around. Whether that makes a difference, I don't know, but you always like to be at home instead on the road. But we know nothing's going to be easy, and teams are going to be. We got more of a target on our back now instead of the other way around. So.
And you kind of walked into my next question. You've been a very good road team this year. You touched on that experience and the improvement from last year. Are those the primary reasons that you've been pretty comfortable taking care of business on the road this year?
I really can't explain why that works out. I had a coach tell me last year, it seems like you guys are almost play better on the road than you do at home. It's sure not by luxury, on in them quads sitting there for 4 hours after a bus ride before you play. But I don't know what we're doing right. We made some adjustments early last year. I didn't like early how we were handling bus rides and what we were doing before the game, and but for whatever reason, we seem to play well. Some of the crowds, if they draw a big crowd, I know that whether it's for us or against us, it just the kids kind of like playing to that. The more people that are around and more noise there is, the better they seem to play.
And I know as a coach, you're always looking at the things you need to improve on list. What tops that list right now?
Well, that's the thing, sitting where we're at, 11-0, that happy with that, but definitely not satisfied with how we're playing, and that's kind of the upside, I guess. Not only have we not been beat so far, but I think we got a lot of things we can improve on. Like you said, I mentioned earlier, we haven't been shooting the ball really well from 3 the last few games. It seems like we kind of relaxed a little bit. Like I don't know to say that they're satisfied after they won 7, 8 games or whatever, but I don't know if they were playing quite as hard, hitting the floor, hustling quite as much as they were. I tried to stress that this week as we get back from the Christmas break. Um, Last night, Walk On played extremely hard in that game, and I thought they out hustled us at least in the middle part of the game. We kind of picked it up when we needed to, but that's something you don't want to come and go. You always want to be playing 100%. I stress defense and taking care of the basketball and effort and hustle and them things you can control every night. The shooting you'll have some good nights, some down nights, and just try to do good at the things we can control every night.
And you touched on the walk-on game. You got off to a 20-8 lead at the end of the first quarter, a 29-15 lead at the halftime break. When you're in situations like that, how do you avoid mentally putting it on cruise control? And that's something that might have caught up with you a little bit last night with walk-on getting back into that game.
Yeah, it kind of felt like that. And Walk On, give credit to them too, because they didn't seem to have quite the effort they were probably looking for at the beginning of the game when we were able to get out to that lead. But they really picked it up and gave us some problems there in the middle part. I kind of talked at halftime there that we wanted to come out and add to that lead and kind of put them away. Hopefully, make that fourth quarter a little easier, be able to sub a little more and rest some guys. But yeah, they closed the gap pretty quick and definitely fought right till the end with us.
And I know you're focused on the court end of things, but looks like coming up next Tuesday night, you got kind of a special Pack the Gym alumni night against MFL. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I see there's, I suppose, some kids home for college yet over that time. This Friday we host Turkey Valley, and it's the only Friday night home game we have all year. I don't know why they picked that night or how that came to be, but I just seen a couple weeks ago they decided to try something like that, and decided that would be a good night to try to get some people in the gym, and MFL being state participant last year, I'd like to get a good crowd there. They always travel pretty well, so I'm sure that was probably played into the decision some too.
And from this point on, what's going to be the key to having as much success as this team can possibly have?
Just not getting comfortable with where we're at, and remembering how hard we had to fight to get to where we're at. I think that's a key. Stay focused, kind of avoid the outside noise. They haven't really dealt with this kind of thing in basketball. Recently, they were involved with uh, some of the juniors and seniors were involved with the state runner-up baseball team a couple years ago, and have kind of been through some of that, so that will hopefully help. But yeah, we just got to stay focused on one game at a time, and know we got some tough games ahead, and do play their hardest.
All right, Jeff, thanks for taking the time. Congrats on the good start that you guys are off to. Hopefully you can keep it rolling this week. Best of luck to you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Jeff Cota, head coach of the Key High boys basketball team, sitting at 11-0 going into Friday night against Turkey Valley.